It seems like they make a new Batman figure every couple weeks, but I was actually into this one. This is a classic look that we all know from the JLA, and yeah, I was actually excited about the Build-A-Figure as well. I have Batman, and then I have the Superman that comes with the body, and the Green Lantern comes with the legs. So this is what I find interesting. There's 4 pieces, so you can get also Aquaman, and he'll come with the regular arms. So I guess if you really want that Aquaman, then that's cool. You can get that Aquaman, but you don't actually need it to build the Build-A-Figure, because surely most people would just want the powered arms, right? And I already have Aquaman in my collection, so I'm happy with the one I have. The one I have is kind of the bearded classic suit, and the one that comes in this wave is actually the one with his arm missing. He's got like a hook on his arm. It's pretty cool, but for now I think I will just stick with the 3 figures from the wave and be able to build this guy. So we'll start today with Batman. Super excited to crack into this thing. Let me get this all out of the packaging, and then we'll take a look at the figure a little closer up. Alright, so you guys know I always cut out that part because Mcfarlane makes it so hard to get the figures out of the packaging. It's honestly too much. I don't like it. It takes forever to clip all those little ties and get the figures out. He puts them at the ankles and the wrists and the chest and every single piece, and 2 on an accessory. It's a lot. Surely it's just a anti-theft thing, but man, that is pretty wild every single time opening up one of these figures. Got him out. First of all, appreciate that he still gives us the cards. I love that they come with a card. Got a binder full of these Mcfarlane cards now. I should have got out one of my little DC stands to put it on, but I think it's put in a box somewhere. I don't really display them like that. So he just comes with a single accessory, the grappling gun. It's pretty cool. Nothing special. I don't know that I'll have mine holding this thing. And then of course the pieces to build Plastic Man. But let's take a look at the figure. So he looks awesome. So it's just pretty much all black. There's not a lot you would think is going on here, but you know, you can kind of tell it's got a little bit of a blue tint to the arms and the legs. It almost fades to blue a little bit as it goes down. So like his boots don't match the same kind of glossy black that his thighs and his chest have. So again, big chunky plastic cape. Not a fan of the big plastic capes, but Mcfarlane does it well. They're very soft. They're not rock hard like a Marvel Legends plastic cape. So he stands up just fine. You don't need this thing. Some figures you definitely need this, or even one of these things. I use these for any figure that falls down a couple times. They'll get one of those, but this guy should be fine without any kind of stand. The head is a little weird how he does that, how it moves at the base of the neck instead of how a head actually moves, you know, at the jaw line. But it works for the figures. It works. You can see the same thing going on here, where the neck is not what moves. It's the base of the neck. I mean, not the top of the neck. But this is just such a cool classic look. The black suit with the yellow bat, like from the movie, and then they brought it to the comics, and then the yellow belt, just like the picture here. So really cool. Happy to have this guy in the collection. I have so many Batman. What am I going to do? Grab all of the Batman I have and pull them out? I will grab a few figures so we can do a little comparison and see how he stands up next to some Batman and Batman villains. So once I get a few of these guys out and move them around, I didn't actually realize how big this guy is. I've always thought, and I think most people think, that the Hush Batman is one of the best. It's my personal favorite Batman in my collection, but he's pretty tall. He kind of towers over a lot of the other figures. You would think maybe he'd be just a little bit, just a tiny bit shorter, kind of like the White Knight Batman. So this is, I absolutely love the White Knight story from Sean Murphy. Love that, and love that figure and the Azrael that it comes with. That's one of my favorite figures in my whole collection. And you can tell this guy, he's much taller, much bigger. And he's actually, I don't know, because I have him standing up real straight and he is maybe just a little bit crouched, just a tiny bit. But man, he looks bigger. So he's even bigger than the Hush Batman. This is probably reused from another body, but I don't have it. I think it's the, not Rebirth, it's the Three Jokers, maybe? I never got that one. I try not to get every single one, or I'd have 50 Batman, right? But these are my 3 favorites that I have. I've got probably like another 5 or 6 on the shelves around me, but I've just grabbed these. These look really awesome. So you've got one for your kind of Justice League collection, one for my little White Knight spot on the shelf, and then one for my actual Batman collection. So that's perfect. Love it. Let's get a couple of villains and see how he stacks up next to these guys. Yeah, so I figured, of course, I've got to grab Bane, right? Because Bane is so big. I love the Bane figure. Absolutely love it. Really, really happy to have that in my collection. But he's pretty big. He's probably a little too big. I mean, usually, you know, the bigger the better. Sometimes that's not always the case with figures. He does kind of stand out a bit too much. I mean, he's like almost as big as my Swamp Thing figure, you know, it's pretty wild. And you can tell even though this Batman is so big, Bane is just way bigger. They look pretty good together because they're both a little bigger, but you can tell Joker is a little more in scale, I suppose. And I know he's like in a sort of attacking pose here, but you can tell he is quite a bit smaller than Batman. But he should be. I'm pretty sure Batman in the comics is like over 6 feet. Maybe he's like 6'1" or 6'2" or something. That's pretty tall. I am 6 foot tall, and anytime I see someone that's like 6'2", I'm like, man, they are a lot bigger than me. So what is Bane, 7 foot? I don't know. But Joker, Bane, I've got a ton of other villains I could pull out, but I think you guys get the point. Really happy with the figure. Appreciate you guys watching. See y'all when I do Superman and Green Lantern.